What's up, guys? Midweek update time, and we're tweaking our core after reviewing yesterday's builds and the latest news and matchup data. At quarterback, we're pivoting from yesterday's Jaden Daniels stacks to Dak Prescott at 6,500. The why is simple. Dak carries a dash rank of 100. He's averaging 22 fantasy points per game, and he's in outstanding form with 34, 28, and 22 in his last three. He draws Washington, who have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank 24, and he's projected for 20 at near zero ownership. Multiple pieces this week have Dak as a name to watch in Week 7 and note his decade of sustained production in Dallas. Plus, he even cracked recent MVP chatter per Essentially Sports. Given that defensive matchup and Dak's recent efficiency, we prefer the proven floor and ceiling over a rookie volatility stack. We're keeping our value quarterback the same with Dylan Gabriel at 4,400. He faces Miami, who have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank 29, and he's posted 16-9 in his last two. Ownership is basically zero. This remains a pure salary relief leverage play, with the caveat that projections are still fragile given the short runway as a starter and the noise around Shedder Sanders in the local media, per several reports. The role is intact for now, which keeps the punt in play for lineup construction. Running back, we're moving from yesterday's Josh Jacobs anchor to Javonte Williams at 6,700. The goal here is to align our RB with the same soft defense Dak is attacking. Washington again rate as one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank 24, and Javonte brings a dash rank of 100 with a recent 30 and 19 sandwiching a down game of 8. The touch profile as Dallas's listed starter is supported by multiple reports out of Dallas, and he's been cited as having a solid start to 2025. With ownership near zero and correlated game environment, this is a bounce-back spot we want to buy. Wide receiver, we're rotating off George Pickens and onto Deebo Samuel Sr. at 6,200. This is a matchup-driven play. Dallas have the absolute worst defense overall by opponent rank 32, and Deebo's posted 20 and 24 in two of his last three, with one dud mixed in. He's dash rank 100, projected 15, and also nearly unowned. News this offseason noted that San Francisco traded away Deebo, and the fresh role has flashed in spots. In the best overall defensive matchup on the slate, we want to pair Dak exposure on one side with Deebo bring-back leverage on the other. Tight end, we're shifting from Jake Ferguson to Tucker Kraft at 4,900. Kraft owns a dash rank of 100, averages 13 fantasy points per game, and has steady recent outputs of 12, 11, and 6. Arizona have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall by opponent rank 18, so we're not chasing a funnel, we're betting roll and stability at near zero ownership with an 11-point projection. There were knee scare headlines earlier in the year, but subsequent reports, including an Ian Rappaport update, were positive. The mid-tier price plus dependable usage profiles well for balanced builds. At flex, we're replacing yesterday's Odunze with Alvin Kamara at 5,900. Kamara's dash rank is 100, he's projected 14, and Chicago have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank 28. He's logged 11, 10, and 13 in his last three, and the salary has not caught up to his steady volume. News notes he isn't expected to be moved at the trade deadline, and that he's entering his 30s. But the current role remains intact. Near zero ownership on a proven PPR accumulator in a soft matchup makes him a strong midweek upgrade. Defense. We're moving off yesterday's Chiefs and onto the Broncos at 3,500. They draw the Giants, who have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank 25, and the projection sits at 9, with little ownership. We're targeting pressure and mistakes in a game where Denver can control field position. Quick value check-ins to round it out. Value RB Adam Prentice at 4,000 is still off our board. He posted 1 2 games ago with zeros around it, and the role is too thin, even with the Giants offering one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank 26. We prefer saving elsewhere. Value WR Noah Brown at 3,300 is a monitor only. Reports last week had Washington losing Terry McLaurin and Noah Brown ahead of Week 6, and he's currently listed questionable. If he's surprisingly active, he would be a pure punt against Dallas's absolute worst defense overall by opponent rank 32. But otherwise, we're out. Value TE Tommy Tremble at 2,900 remains a viable punt. The Jets have one of the worst defenses overall by opponent rank 27. Tremble's recent 15, 2 and 8 show real volatility with spike week potential, and ownership should be negligible. Value Flex Cavante Turpin at 3,500 is also a news-dependent dart. He's questionable, but his role as a high-leverage return and gadget piece is real, as highlighted by his new 3-year deal and that Week 1 punt return TD. If active, he's a viable large-field swing in Dallas stacks. If not, we pivot. Value Defense Giants at 2,200 are a salary saver with a middle-of-the-pack defensive opponent by opponent rank 11. Not our priority, but they unlock lineups if you need the cap. To summarize the changes versus yesterday, we're off the Jaden Daniels side and onto Dak Prescott, because Washington's defense remains a target and Dak's recent production, plus National Week 7 buzz, elevate his ceiling at low ownership. We've aligned RB with that same defense by elevating Javonte Williams over Jacobs for correlation and salary balance. We've swapped Pickens for Debo to attack Dallas's absolute worst defense overall. We've moved to Tucker Kraft at TE for mid-tier stability, and we've slid Kamara into flex to capture volume against one of the worst defenses overall. Ownership on all of these remains near zero, which is the leverage we want mid-week. Drop your questions below. Let us know if you're rolling with the Dak plus Debo bringback, and we'll be back with final tweaks after inactives.